Okay everyone, let's get started on our first class during the Corona lockdown. We'll get straight into it, do some nice simple and basics. I'm just going to give level 1 instruction with a few small details here and there, and something to get us moving and healthy. So let's begin. So first a salute. And let's go through the bamboo, the first Tai Chi tsao. So the tsaos are to connect the body together. So let's go through the first one, which is mainly for your spine and for your neck and for your head. So with your feet shoulder width distance apart, energize the fingers, lifting up, then falling down. Let your hands rest on your back. Try to soften your hips and your legs. Use the weight of the head to draw you forwards. Feel a light stretch on the back of the neck going through the spine, then softening your legs to return. The hips travel forwards. Let the head naturally fall. Again, soften through the hips to return. So forwards, hang the head. Soften through your legs and the hips and the tail. Hips forwards. Releasing through the legs. Heavy crown. So some details. The weight of the head draws you forwards. You're not actually leaning forwards, you're just relaxing using gravity. Then softening through the hips and the tail. Here the temptation is to lean back. It's actually the opposite. It's your hips travelling forwards down into the front of your legs, and your crown as if it's being lifted, and just be aware of the weight of the head. And you're sinking through the hips in order to return through this circle. Use the weight of the head. Try to relax your shoulders. Use the weight of the shoulders branching down laterally across your spine. And again using the hips to return. Keep travelling forwards. Let the head and the shoulders open. And then releasing through the hips. Common errors. Number 1 is to lean back, as I mentioned just now, but really it's going forwards. And the second is to isolate one or a few of the joints by leaning, but you're not trying to work on just one part, you're trying to affect the entire body, the entire spine, as if it's like a thin bamboo reed that's being drawn over. So if one part of it is pulled, it affects everything else. When you let go, it springs back to the norm, which is how you return to neutral position. Let's do the same thing to the sides. So this lightness through the crown, the weight of the head draws you over. Feel a light stretching through your hips and your body, then falling down through the legs to return. Again, this lightness first, then fall, and weight through your hips, through your legs onto the ground. To one side, let the head hang, release the legs, let the head hang, and again release. A light crown, and common errors are to move the body across deliberately. Avoid that instead, just very light. Imagine that your ear is so heavy that it's pulling you over. Second mistake is to pull the body up, but instead, of course, as always, yin, falling through the hips. So this lightness. Second mistake is to push the hips away from the head or into the leg. neither of those things happen. Your legs are like the roots that go into the ground, so your hips belong to the earth and your body is in the air, coming up and over. So you may feel this stretching through the torso and then this falling down sensation. So this growing and feeling the weight of the head, and not to return deliberately but to fall through the ribs, through the legs, finding your centre on the ground. The arms are just resting naturally behind you. As the shoulders and elbows rest, it makes your wrists stick to your back, so it kind of gets the arms out of the way. You don't want an extra weight on your arms, so you're just relaxing it behind you. And just very, very soft. And be careful to avoid leaning forwards or twisting the spine. But instead you're just moving to one side, feeling the effect of gravity going down, and then returning. So no twisting, no turning, no leaning. Just this idea of opening up the ribs and then falling down again. So the final part of this exercise, which is nicknamed the bamboo, is to rotate the body. So we've done forwards and back, we've done left and right, now we're going to do everything in between. If you have any issues with the neck, or with bone density issues, or if you're maybe a little bit frail, then avoid this exercise. But if you feel capable, and even if you do feel you're confident in the movements, it's important not to push yourself. The goal is not like Western exercise to do as much as you can. The goal is actually the opposite, to do as little as you can. So if you feel any resistance at any stage, stop there and reverse. So the idea is the same initially, that your head falls forwards. You're hanging the head, you're hanging the shoulders. Nothing happens with your upper body, you're only focused on your hips, which are going to turn. Keep the head hanging, the temptation is to pull, and then your hip travels forwards. That has the effect of bringing the head back. Stop once you reach the back, and then reverse, releasing the hip. The head and shoulders hanging as fully as possible, and then to the other side. Turn, your hip forwards, let the head fall back, then reverse the direction, and again to the other side. Let the head hang, let the shoulders hang, feel the shoulders opening up inside the joints, and releasing again. And again, you're treating your spine like a bamboo reed that's flexible, soft and connected. So common mistakes are to hold the neck and shoulders and to move the upper body, which strains the body. So you're not trying to move around like this, you're trying to float, and the idea that you're just resting through your hips. So at any stage you can hear my voice is free, there's no strain on the body, everything's light and connected. If I pull on the neck or the shoulder at any stage, like trying to pull, you'll feel there's a strain in the voice, so try to soften, hang and relax. Another common mistake is to try and lean too far forwards, which isolates just one small set of joints. Instead of that, like the bamboo, you're connecting everything together, so it's like one continuous connection. And if you feel any resistance anywhere, stop there and then go back. So again, go one way. If you feel there's any difficulty, just stop there and reverse. Gradually, as you get more and more supple, the body can go a bit further. One of the big no-nos is to force your way through a resistance and to get to the other side. Instead of that, just stop there. So take it nice and gently. Take responsibility for your own spinal health. And just this idea of resting, relaxing, whilst being mobile. And you'll find that the way to get more flexible is to soften more, not to do more. Just as a final point, as your body goes forwards here, your head falls back. It's tempting to look upwards or even backwards. Avoid that. Instead, your eyes are just looking ahead of your face. Imagine there's something behind your neck and you're going over that something. So you're not compressing or holding, but you're resting and falling. So there's no manipulation at all through the upper body. It's all done through your hips. When you're ready, return to the centre at the front and imagine a long rope behind you pulling down. So as the rope falls, your body becomes upright, the hips still soft, and relax. To close, the feet go in slightly, so just inside the width of the hips, inflating the upper lungs behind your body to bring the arms up, and then falling through the palms. The crown lifts and the legs stay soft.